Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down complex research into insights you can actually use.
This is a huge puzzle for pretty much every modern business. And today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating study that found a clever way to actually solve it.
So first, let's get our heads around the core problem here. Proving the specific, concrete value of information technology, well, it's surprisingly tricky.
Researchers call this the contamination problem. Think about it. Revenue data is always mixed up with IT's influence. Since every company uses tech, you can't just switch it off to see what would happen. A true before and after comparison is basically impossible.
So, to isolate IT's effect, analysts got creative. They compared a traditional two-factor model with a newer, three-factor one. The big difference? The new model treats IT investment as its own separate thing, right alongside the classic stuff like capital and labor. And that simple change, that's what finally lets us measure its unique contribution.
All right, so the researchers needed a specific tool to analyze the data from these models. They chose a really powerful economic method called returns to scale.
And the easiest way to get this is to think about a pizza factory. Seriously, if you double all your ingredients, your dough, your workers, your ovens, do you get exactly double the pizzas? Or maybe you get more, or even less. That question right there is the key to understanding returns to scale. So, a bit more formally, RTS tells us how a business scales. Does it get more efficient as it gets bigger, or less? It's a fantastic way to check the productive health of a whole system.
And really, it just boils down to three possible outcomes. If your final number is greater than 1, you've got increasing returns, which is awesome. That's fantastic efficiency. If it equals 1, you've got constant returns. You're breaking even. And if it's less than 1, you've got decreasing returns, which means you're actually getting less efficient as you grow.
So the whole study followed this clear three-step process. And now we get to the most interesting part, the proof, where they took this whole method out for a spin in the real world.
Yeah, this is where the rubber meets the road. They applied this whole framework to two very different industries, just to see what would happen.
First up, the branchless banking industry. I mean, this sector is completely built on a foundation of technology. Without IT, it just wouldn't even be a thing.
And for the second case, they picked the downstream petroleum industry. A classic heavy industry. Now, they definitely use IT for logistics and operations and all that, but it's more of a support tool. It's not the actual product they're selling.
Okay, so when they ran the numbers, the difference between these two industries was just staggering. You gotta see this.
So, first, banking. What happened when they specifically measured the productivity impact of IT as if it were a core part of production? They got an RTS value of, get this, 849.633. Now remember, anything over 1 means you're getting more efficient. This is a massive, massive signal of productivity.
This just screams that in branchless banking, IT investment doesn't just help a little bit, it completely supercharges productivity. Every new input, including the tech, leads to a way, way bigger result.
Okay, now for petroleum. You might expect a similar result, right? Maybe smaller, but still positive. I mean, IT should make any business a bit more efficient, but that is not what happened. Not at all.
The result was actually negative 2.086. That's way, way below 1, which puts it squarely in the land of decreasing returns to scale.
Now, this is fascinating. What it suggests is that even though IT is used, trying to view it as a core driver of production, like oil or labor, is just the wrong way to look at it for this industry. Forcing it into the model that way actually makes the whole business look less productive.
So, what on earth is going on here? Why the huge difference? Well, the crucial point, the big takeaway, is that the value of IT isn't some universal constant. It is all about context.
For banking, IT isn't just a tool they use, it is the business. It fundamentally creates the value, it enables the entire service, it defines the industry. It's the engine. But for petroleum, IT helps the business run better, sure, but the core value still comes from oil and gas. It's a supportive enabler, kind of like a good accounting system. It's not the primary driver of output, like the oil rig itself.
And that's the real lesson here. Measuring the value of technology isn't just about the tech itself, it's about how deeply, how fundamentally it's woven into the very fabric of a business. It shows that true value comes from deep integration, not just surface-level application.